Okay, couture crafters, let's get into this. I am very into Disney bounding. However, I can't do it the way everybody else does with the clothes and the things and blah, blah, blah. And basically, Disney bounding is finding a character like Mickey Mouse. And we all know Mickey Mouse, his colors are yellow, black, and red. And basically, you put those colors on, and people kind of recognize you in the parks because you can't wear a Mickey Mouse costume in the park. And it's a way to show your fandom. So I've decided to start bounding the best ways I know how. I do it with eyeshadow and makeup. I do it with my cards now, and I do it with quilting, and that makes me happy. It's a way to express how much I love Disney and Disney characters, etc. So this is the first time that I've ever tried it with cards, and so I decided to do 3 cards. And of course, they're slimline, no surprise there. I cut them down to like 3 1/4, 3 1/2, and 3 inches. I don't know why I didn't just pick a size, but whatever. And I'm grabbing some Alta stamps that are all geometric. You guys know I love a good geometric. If it's not geometric, it's some flowers. So this is a square from their plaid set that was just released earlier this year. They brought it out at CHA. Why on earth won't people make slimline stamps for me? They got into slimline dies. I see everybody. Where are the slimline stamps? I want to make this into a card so bad. But when I tell you A2 makes my skin crawl, ugh, I hate that size. And that's the perfect size for that one. I want to see if I can extend it, but whatever. So I'm using some Catherine Pooler ink because it picks up the best with the clear stamps. You know, Catherine Pooler is my jam. And I wanted to use her inks completely for this project. However, I couldn't get the colors that I needed. So there's another Simple Shapes from Altenew, probably one of my most used stamp sets. I just love geometric, just simple stuff. These cards are right up my alley. I love them. So I am offsetting and stamping some more. No real rhyme or reason, just having a good time stamping. I was in the mood to do a lot of stamping, and this day I did a lot of stamping. These cards took me like 2 days to finish. I did not complete them in one sitting. And again, I'm using I think I used all of the sizes. I'm not sure. I'm stamping off the sides. Everything is not straight. I'm trying to get it straight, but I'm not trying hard enough to get it straight. And between the basic shapes and then the smaller basic shapes and that Altenew plaid set, I got quite a few different size squares, which made me happy. Some of them in the other smaller set are open like you see right now. And you see I got a little smudge on that one. So I went back over with the solid stamp and stamped it in black and covered that little smudge right up. For this card, I did not. What was I going to tell you guys? I have no idea what I was getting ready to tell you. How about that? I'm actually enjoying watching stamping. I know I like to stamp, but I know I enjoyed watching people stamp too. So I'm just cleaning these off with the baby wipe. I'm definitely getting some staining. I wish I had used my VersaFine Clear. It doesn't stain in the same way that Catherine Pooler's Midnight just stained that stamp. You know, my issue with that is it's difficult to see through it when it's stained with black. When it's stained with red, it's like kind of whatever. But I believe Catherine Pooler's inks are supposed to be able to withstand water. That black one is supposed to be able to withstand watercolor and maybe even Copics. I saw people try. I think you should heat set it or emboss if you're going to use Copics with it, but I think it can if it's dried for like a day or so. All right, on to my next card. Can you guys guess who these are? Should I tell you guys? Do you guys want to know or do you want to guess? The first one, we basically went over that one. The first one was Mickey. I'm not going to tell you the next two. You guys can guess those. I'm getting ready to do a quilt, and the quilt is going to be nothing but Disney characters, and they're going to be done in this way. And so I'm just trying to get everybody ready for it because it's coming. So here, again, I couldn't find the Catherine Pooler colors that I wanted, so I had to switch over to these dye inks. This is a felt pad. Felt pad plus clear stamps is okay, but you know, you really want to put it in a Misty or a Tim Holtz stamp positioner kind of thing, because you might not get the full impression that you want to get the first time out. So I just grabbed my Tim Holtz stamp thingy. I don't think you can get these anymore. I think they discontinued them. But you can certainly get a Misty, and you can get a Misty in Michael's and Joann's. Now, you can't use your coupon on it, but you might be able to catch it on a little bit of a sale because it is expensive. Misty's, that was my issue with Misty's, is that they were expensive. And then everybody knocked them off. Then Misty sued the crap out of everybody. And now you can only buy Misty's. So, and Tim Holtz is getting rid of his. How about that? So I'm stamping off the sides, and I'm using this pink from Altenew, and boy, is it a pretty pink. I'm glad that I have all of Altenew's colors. I wish Catherine Pooler had as many colors as Altenew has, because I prefer her foam ink pad. Alex asked me a long time ago what I look for in an ink pad, and I've never answered it because it really needs its own video, but I want it to be able to release ink evenly, and I want a bunch of different colors. I want all the colors. I've recently bought Concord and Ninth set, and everybody has an ink pad at this point. You just kind of got to find the one that works for you. I like dye ink, so I have all of Tim Holtz inks plus the new ones that he just released. He's doing more. I have Catherine Pooler's whole line, and now I have Concord and Ninth's whole line, and then I have VersaFine Clear ink. I have that full line. You know, I'm not getting ready to get into Hero Arts and Altenew, because you'll just be all over the place. Unless they make a color that I feel like I can't get elsewhere, I just can't be buying inks all over the place. It's just too much. But Altenew has a really nice selection. The Ton has a 4-pack that I want, and I forgot to get it after I just did a huge purchase from them, which sucks. But anyway, so now moving on to Altenew's trigonometry set. Love it. Geometrics. And this one is in triangles. Loved this one. This one might be my favorite card. You guys know the pink one wasn't. Can you guys guess who this is? Who is all white with a blue shirt and I think a red bow, and I think he has a red bow on his hat too, and it's a boy. Can you guys guess who this is? And the other card is actually my favorite Disney character, the pink one. Can you guys guess? I'm not going to tell you. You guys go on over to my Instagram after you watch this, because I will have posted who they are with little hints and stuff. I had a really good time with those princess postcards. Wow. And I mean, people played along and it was great. So we're going to see if people will play along with 100 quilt blocks. That's how many quilt blocks there are, 100. Oh my goodness. So can you tell who they are? The left and right, and then the other one. So I purchased all the slim lines from everybody. If you make a slim line die, I probably bought it. If I saw it, I bought it, which is ridiculous. I'm not buying any more slim line dies. I just looked at that today. It's utterly ridiculous. But these are from Cali Girl, and I hadn't seen any like this. So I'm glad that I got it. I'm glad that I played with it. This is my first time ever buying from Cali Girl. They worked fine. There was actually nothing wrong with them. They just come out differently than I thought. I'm using this new Jennifer McGuire method on how to run stuff through my Gemini Junior, and basically all it is she tapes all the plates together, and it makes it so much more pleasant. You guys, I cannot tell you how much better it is. You don't have to fidget with it's just 20 times better. I should have thought of that myself. Can you see how this cuts out? So it cuts out a frame and an insert, and that's a brand new plate there. It does not look brand new by the end of this card, but it cuts the frame and the insert. And I was like, that's interesting. I wish I had just used the frame, but then I was like, what am I going to do with the insert? Gotta use the insert too, right? So I ended up cutting it down and using both, which, was all right. This is an experiment. This is my first time using it. Had no idea what I was getting ready to get, but that's really pretty right there. Wish I had done that, but I didn't. And this die measures 3.5 by 8.5. So you got to be careful with that top and bottom there when you're cutting your paper, because if you cut it too short, it's going to show. So you got to be careful. I bought 2 from Cali Girl. This is the other one. And it's just a straight, I think it's just stitched. It's just straight stitch lines. I just like those four. I mean, I just liked all those windows on that one, so I grabbed it because I know I already have a stitched one by either. I don't know. I probably have multiple. Who knows? I bought a whole bunch of stuff when it came to slimline. I was just happy. I got slimline happy like the rest of the world and just bought all the slimline stuff. Favorite style of card, slimline all day long. So I'm running this through the machine. So with these dies, you don't have to worry about it. With the Gemini Junior, it actually fits completely on that platform. The other die that I'm going to show you guys was tricky, and I didn't love that the platform is not as long as I need it to be. And of course, Gemini Junior at this point, the last time I checked, which was a couple of months ago, they do not make one that's a little bit longer because they hate us. Oh, that bothers me. So that die, I needed to cut down the Mickey panel just a little bit. So for this one, I just did a folding, just a folded card, not a big deal. I did a 3.5, so that was a 7 by 8.5 card. And now I'm cutting this sucker down so that it fits on the front of that small panel. So I put the frame down on a gray piece of cards that had been folded over. Again, the dimensions are 7 by 8.5. And I just put the frame on there. And then I went ahead and put that on the inside. Ooh, this is a girly card, which is funny because my favorite character is a little on the girly side. Can you guys guess who it is? Love that. But I had to keep playing with it till I felt right. Okay, so here's the envelope die by Trinity Stamps. It's great in theory, but it's longer than the actual plate. Can you see the plate? It's down there. It's clear, but you see it's hanging out right there. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. So I went ahead and ran it through, and then I just pulled it through the other side and ran it through again. The issue with that is a few things. One, I'm using 65-pound ridiculously crappy Michaels cardstock. It's just flimsy. It gets the job done sometimes, but it's not the best quality cardstock. So it was too much die cutting on that paper, which actually pierced the paper. And I also got like a little indentation from where the thing is hanging out, and I didn't like that. So I thought, okay, I'll send it through and then I'll hit the reverse. But you have to be careful about where you're reversing. You want to make sure you go all the way through. And I had a time, again, this is my first time playing with this. So I had to make it work. Eventually I figured out how far to let it go in and then stop it and then shoot it back. But it took a little bit of trying. I did not use all of the die pieces. I used that piece and I used the top and the bottom. I just went ahead and cut. They have a frame for it, but I just went ahead and cut it because it's 4 by 9. And that's faster for me to just cut a 4 by 9 sheet of paper and then use the die for these. So, of course, I needed to put sentiments on my cards, which is my least favorite thing to do. And I've used that photo play stamp set a million times. So if you want to see that, go back to one of my other videos, the Mickey Holiday envelope slimline, because you'll see that stamp set. But these are the panels. So you just fold over. Remember, always fold towards the bump. Yeah, fold towards the bump. And just going ahead and line them up with the sides. This is super easy to put together. I got a little carried away with the glue here, but hey. And this paper is so warpable. It's 65 pounds. You get what you get. You don't throw a fit. Like you guys know, I'm trying to upgrade my paper stash. So I've bought paper from Concord and Ninth. I think I bought a ton of paper from MFT and a ton of paper from Gina K. So I'm going to just keep updating my stock, so that when we finally move, whenever that's going to be, I have real paper to use. I'm trying to go through the Michaels paper. But the colors worked, so okay. I guess I'll stop complaining about that now. And be careful when you're gluing this right here. You make sure that you don't glue it down completely on accident. Stick something in there to make sure that it's not glued down, and be careful when you're putting that glue. You don't want to put too much because they just barely overlap, just enough to get you where you're going. I love this. Of course, I have a 1, 2, 3 punch board, but there's something about being able to do this envelope this way. I really, really like it. And I bought another envelope that I can do envelope die that I can do the opposite direction so that it's not, so I don't have to cut it off the way I used to when I use the 1, 2, 3 punch board. So here they all are. Again, I hope you guys know who these people are, who these characters are. I'm setting it up to take a picture for Instagram, and we're all done. Thanks for hanging out with me. Happy bounding.